Now we've got an absolutely beautiful fighting fish here, and he's living in a little Aqua One aquarium. Now at the moment these plants are looking a little bit algae-ish. So when you do see your plants being a little bit algae-ish, then you sort of need to up the organic carbon. So in this case we've got some carbon plus, but we probably want to be dosing it a little bit more regularly because we want to see this algae disappearing. With your plants, if you notice algae growing on the plants, then adding a carbon source like Carbo Plus, I'd be dosing that probably a couple of times a week. You start with a low dose and then hope that that gets rid of the algae. Otherwise you can slowly, week by week, start building up your dose rate. And then if you notice your leaves going a little bit yellow, then it's good to fertilize it. So you can also test iron as well, and that would tell you if you've got enough of that. But if you notice them going a little bit yellow, you've got to up the amount of iron that you're adding. If you notice black on the leaves, you need to up the amount of organic carbon that you're adding. If you notice your leaves falling apart, that usually means that your light's not on regularly enough. And then if you notice holes in the leaves, that usually means that somebody's eating it. Yeah, mountain clouds are very underrated little fish. They're just super easy to keep and relatively easy to breed, particularly in ponds. Now with this super fine sand, I like regularly just giving it a bit of a stir.
So is that about twice a week on that?
Oh, if you can, sure. Because what I don't want is hydrogen sulfide building in this fine sand. Eventually, as there's roots get through the sand, then that's not really a problem. But when the tank's new and their roots aren't established, then just giving the sand a bit of a stir is going to be a good thing. But yeah, as I was just saying, I really love mountain clouds because they just look like a happy fish. They look like they appreciate life, and they just are such active, busy, happy little fish. They make me happy to look at. They don't look sad at all. I'm a big fan of these fish. For an aquarium like this, considering snails is definitely an option. If you go nuts on the snails, you might find them start eating the plants. But also catfish, things like Otocinclus cats. They're beautiful little things, but sometimes they're a little bit hard to keep. Whereas bristlenose would be a really nice option. Once again, if you go too nuts on things like bristlenose, you might find them eating the plants. But getting yourself some bristlenose and some snails is definitely an option. Just keep an eye on them, make sure they don't start going crazy and potentially start putting holes in the leaves. Now, an aquarium with plants in it, we really don't want zero nitrate and phosphate because we want nitrate and phosphate available for the plants to eat. So if you're testing your water and your nitrate and phosphate zero, then you don't need to do water changes. On the other hand, if you find your nitrate and phosphate starting to elevate, then probably doing more water changes is a good idea.